Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Well, sad day for me today, because I'm on my way back to the bike den in Watford, where I'm going to hand back this Royal Enfield Interceptor 650 that I've had for the last few days. I've had it for the weekend, and I've had an absolute blast on it, so I thought on my final ride back, I will give you my final thoughts on the bike. So if you're interested in this machine, stick around and stay tuned. So I'm lucky enough to get to ride lots of bikes during the course of bringing you videos on the Missenden Flyer, and some bikes are better than others, but there are very few bikes that I ride that I think, you know what, there's something about this bike that I absolutely love. And surprisingly, maybe, this Royal Enfield Interceptor is one of those bikes. There's just something about it that I really love. Regardless of the fact that it's a Royal Enfield and therefore it's a value for money bike, it's just great fun to ride. I've ridden the pants of it this weekend. I've enjoyed the sound of it, I've enjoyed the look of it, I've enjoyed the feel of it. It's put a grin on my face. It's proper back to basics, old school motorcycling. There's no electronics to spoil the ride. It's got ABS, it has to have that to get it through the Euro 4 regulations, but to be honest, that's the one bit of electronic assistance that I'm glad the bike's got. I think it's difficult to argue against ABS on the bike. But other than that, nada. There's no riding modes, there's no anti-wheelie, there's not even traction control. Nothing to distract you from just the straightforward plain enjoyment of riding an air-cooled twin motorcycle. And in the case of the Royal Enfield 650, it's one that looks just like a British motorcycle from the 1970s. And that of course is because, although these now are very much an Indian company, the bike's made in India, they do have a British heritage, and I love that about them. It looks like a British motorbike should look, and even with the stock cans it sounds like a British motorcycle should sound as well. On these sort of B roads it's just an absolute joy to ride. It only puts out something like 45 brake horsepower, but there is no lack of power. It's amply capable of keeping up at motorway speeds. Overtakes on these sort of roads are a piece of cake. You really don't need more CC and more power for on-road riding. It just hits the sweet spot for me. Just listen to this thing. It sounds absolutely fantastic. And the other great thing about a bike of this power are the sorts of speeds it does. Here I am not doing 60 miles an hour. I've got a grin on my face on this beautiful day. Oh, coming into a 30 now, so I slow down. The point is, I'm not tempted to go faster everywhere. On some of my other bikes, they just urge you to ride like a lunatic all the time. Whereas on this, you're just happy to go thumping along with that big twin going pop, 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 pop behind you. It just makes you feel good. It means you're not taking unnecessary risks. I love that about the bike. I've often said that there's more joy to be had riding a smaller capacity bike to its full extent than riding a big capacity bike on the road, only scratching the surface of its capability. And that has definitely come to the fore in my time riding this bike. If you do want to wind it up, you can have fun on it, and you know you're riding the bike to its max, and you're not going at licence losing speeds. It's brilliant. Love the way this sounds, even with the stock exhaust. The other thing, the abiding memory that I'll be left with after riding the Interceptor for these last couple of days is just how light it feels. Now, I'm a massive fan of Triumph motorcycles, as you may know if you've seen any of my other videos. And I very much used to enjoy riding the Scrambler. You remember the previous generation Scrambler, the 865 Triumph? It was a great bike. It sounded very much like this, and it looked superb as well. But my goodness me, this Royal Enfield just feels so much better than that did. The handling is just so light on this in comparison to those original 865 Bonnies. Well, when I say original, that was about the 4th generation Bonneville. In fact, it feels a lot lighter than the current generation 2019 Bonnevilles. Look at that, there's an actual classic bike ahead of me. Now check out that Honda ahead of me. It's an E-Reg, so it's an old bike, an actual classic, but look at those indicators, the way they're wobbling around. Now they look exactly like the indicators on this Royal Enfield, but boy, these ain't wobbling around. Now I know that's an older bike, so it's not a fair comparison, but you know, this has got all the attributes of an old classic bike, but it rides like a modern machine. Morning, like that as well. Very nice. You've got the same indicators as me. So how old is... Yeah, this is brilliant. It's fantastic. Really nice, actually. And only £5.5 grand new on the road. Bargain. They are very good. Nice fella on the Honda. You like the look of the Royal Enfield too. Now, if only I could see past this vehicle so I could get past. It's going to spoil me last ride, what a shame. So there we are, just a bit of a silly vloggy type video for you today as a little bonus. I just thought I wanted to get another video in the can of the Royal Enfield. While I've got, as I say, really have enjoyed this weekend. I've been quite smitten by the bike. Thanks again to the guys up at the bike den in Watford for letting me borrow the bike. If you are in the market for a sort of a retro classic type bike, then do yourself a favour and get down to your local Royal Enfield dealer and check these out, because they really are a lovely thing to ride. It just feels a bit more authentic to me than some of the new Triumphs. I'm not putting those bikes down. I love Triumphs, don't get me wrong, but those really are modern retros, whereas this is a retro. It's made of metal, and you know, blokes make it using spanners. All clear for a quick overtake. So I'm going to enjoy the bike for another 20 minutes or so until I get it back to the dealers. Hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mist and Fly. Cheerio. First white van of the day, and it's a tranny. Excellent. With one brake light. Fantastic. Happy days. Random hazard lights. It's all very interesting. Gotta love a white van.